everyone. So today we will discuss about quality culture. So what is a quality culture and how it affects the overall performance of different employees in an organization? So Turner in 2010 defined human culture as that complex whole which includes knowledge, beliefs, art models, law, custom, and any other capabilities and habits acquired by man as a member of a society. So this is all the part of a culture. So any knowledge, any belief, any art models, or any capabilities and habits. So it is a culture. It is the culture that guides the behavior, activities, and priorities and decisions of an individual as well as of an organization. So हम किसी भी organization में होते हैं, कहीं भी होते हैं, as an organization और as an individual हमारे जो कल्चर है वही हमें बताता है कि हमें कैसे बिहेव करना है, क्या एक्टिविटीज करनी है, क्या हमारी प्रायोरिटीज हैं और कैसे डिसीजन मेकिंग करनी है. सो वीगर्स ने 1996 में अपनी बुक में क्रिएटिंग अ सॉफ्टवेयर engineering culture illustrates that the interaction between the software engineering culture of an organization, its software engineers, and its projects. So he has demonstrated what it's like to have an interaction between the projects and the software engineers and the organization itself. So this makes a bigger scenario of a software engineering culture. According to Wiggers, a healthy culture is made up of the following elements: the personal commitment of each developer. So these are some of the points from the Wiggers, which he demonstrated, in which he actually mentioned about the culture of a software engineering organization. The personal commitment of each developer to create quality products by systematically applying effective software engineering practice. So this should be essential part of a software engineering culture. The commitment to organization by managers at all levels to provide an environment in which software quality is a fundamental factor of success. It allows each developer to carry out this goal. So this is another important point. The commitment of all team members to constantly improve the processes they use and to always work on improving the products they create. So always moving forward and always improving the product should be part of a software engineering culture. As software engineers, why should we be concerned with this aspect? First of all, so this is a very important question. So first of all, quality culture cannot be bought. I mean, it is not some product in the market that can be bought and you can just implement in the organization. So the organization founder must develop it from the creation of the company. Then when employees are selected and hired, the founder's corporate culture will slowly begin to change. So as we hire, as the employee are selected and hired, the founders actually they tend to change the culture because of the changing needs of the you can say organization. Quality culture cannot be an afterthought. It must be firmly integrated from the outset and constantly consolidated. So you cannot say that we will think about it later on and just for the moment just go on. So you have to set some goals in your mind as a founder of the organization or your company. So in order to have some you can say baseline of the what you want to achieve. The objective of the management is to instill a culture that will promote the development of high quality software products and offer them at competitive prices in order to produce income and dividends within an organization where employees are engaged and happy. So this is very important that all the employees should be engaged, should feel engaged and happy. If you make some you can say some good profit and some good income out of something, so you must share it with the employees of the organization. The second reason why a software engineering should be interested in the culture aspect of quality is that affecting change within an organization does not boil down to placing an order with employees. The organization must work to change its organization must work to change its culture with the help of the change engines. We now know that one of the main stumbling blocks to change within an organization is the organization's culture. So, whatever change you want to bring into the organization, it is important that organization must be, you can say, accommodating towards that. Otherwise, you cannot change its culture if it already has some strict or baseline culture in place in there. So employees must feel involved and be able to see the benefits of any change. So this is very important. Whenever you want to bring some new technologies, some new methodologies, or some new way of work within an organization, employees normally try to resist because they are comfortable with their old ways of doing some particular or doing some you can say daily work. So it is important that you should employees should be feeling involved in all the processes. For example, if the changes provides no benefit to a worker and has only been there to satisfy manager whim, the worker will not be interested in this change. So this is very straightforward. The actions of the employees in our example will not foster the reinforcement of the corporate culture, and its degree of maturity will not be affected. It is imperative that cultural change is managed in order to obtain the desired results. You may be asked to cut corners regarding the quality of your work or the way in which things are done. Managers and clients may increase pressures and ask you to skip steps. So this happens most of the times. In the most desperate situations, you may be asked to start programming even before having identified the needs. This old way of asking about IT still prevails. Thinking about IT still prevails in some companies. It is not easy to resist pressures from people who are paying the bills or your salary. In certain cases, you will feel that you will have no choice. Do what we are asked to do or leave. So this is very straightforward in some cultures, in some organizations that you are asked to do something that you are not prepared for, and you end up doing that thing forcibly because it's the matter of your job and you have to support yourself, your family, or your bills. It may be difficult to imagine spending your career in this type of environment when a quality culture is well when the quality culture is well established. Employees will get involved in even in times of crisis. It is for this reason that the software developers and managers must adopt principles that motivate them to stick to their processes even during these difficult periods. So this is very important that you lay a sound foundation of quality culture. Of course, we are always more flexible during a crisis, but not to the point of dropping all quality assurance activities and our good judgment. So whenever there is a time of crisis in an organization, so this happens most of the times that we normally drop our quality parameters in a project. So just to save budget or to meet the deadlines. So in this way, the quality of the overall project is at stake, and the project is also at stake, and you are always not satisfied. In difficult situation, we must never let your boss, or colleague, or your client convince you to do bad work. So this is very important. And try to convince your boss. Proceed with integrity and intelligence with your boss and clients. So don't be rash about your decision. Don't be angry. Don't yell or don't show your inconvenience. And just try to handle the situation intelligently. The client is not always right. Yes, you are right. However, he probably has a valid point of view, and you have a duty to listen to the client concern. Having said that, you are the person solely responsible for interpreting his needs and converting them into specification and reasonable estimates of efforts and duration. So, client listening to the point, client and translating his needs to the maximum extent is very important. The highest added value of a business analyst in a project is to mitigate expectations and find a solution that will meet requirements and is realistic, feasible, and practical. Be aware of overly aggressive salesperson. One of my best friends used to say, "Nothing is impossible for those who do not have to do it." So this is very funny of it. Be honest with your clients and make sure that you clearly communicate the limitation scope of the work that you will be done. Vegas list 14 principles that are listed below. And for example, never let your boss or client cause you to do more work. People must feel that their work is appreciated. Continuing education is the responsibility of each team member. Participation of the client is the most critical factor of the software quality. Your greatest challenge is to share the vision of the final product with the client. Continuous improvement in your software development process is possible and essential. Software development procedures can help establish a common culture of best practices. Quality is the number one priority. So long-term productivity is a natural consequence of the quality. Ensure that it is a peer or not a client who finds a defect. So this is very important. A key to software quality is to repeatedly go through all development steps except coding. Coding should only be done once. Controlling errors, reports, and change requests is essential to quality and maintenance. If you measure what you do, you can learn to do it better. Do what seems reasonable, and do not base yourself on dogma. You cannot change everything at the same time. Identify changes that will reap the most benefit and start to apply them as of next Monday. So these principles are led by Winger, and they are very comprehensive list of principles. So in my opinion, this is one way of saying that you should handle things tactfully and intelligently instead of going at you can say going at the pace of the troubles of or responsibility straightforwardly. So just be gentle and compassionate towards others. So the process, the culture of an organization is so quality involves an important social aspect in which the level of involvement and cooperation of each member in the company becomes essential. It is imperative to promote and continuously support belief and practices in terms of quality in order to preserve and enrich their critical aspect of corporate culture. It is important to understand the context in which the organization is developing software in order to be able to understand why it is using a specific practice and not another. So indeed, a company that develops and distributes software in a highly regulated sector is quite different from a company that develops its own application for in-house operation. Moreover, other factors within these organizations may also be influencing practices such as risk and product scope, mastering these rules and the laws for the sector. Moreover, other factors within the organization may also be influencing practices such as risk or project scope, mastering business rules, and laws for the sector. By analyzing the situation, the software engineer can better evaluate the changes that should be made to promote the development of quality culture. The quality culture must, above all, be expressed by the willingness to cultivate its meaning from the company's upper management and not only from the engineering team, who in the way plays the role of a quality police. In the most extreme cases where accidents occur, corporate management very often seen involved in choosing non-quality in order to maximize shareholder profits without having a long-term vision. So this is so overall theme of the whole topic is that the quality culture should be adopted and developed by the organization founders or top management so that it can be adopted by the workers, and they should be able to involve in all this scenario. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.